Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to let everybody know Link2, my sponsor, Link2's just launched a streamlined onboarding process that takes just a few minutes, giving all investors instant access to invest on the platform. Visit link2.com or download the app now. You can download the app in your app store and whatnot. Okay, moving along. This is interesting. Robert Kiyosaki, he's the guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Soft landing or crash landing? I'm hoping I'm wrong, yet I'm preparing for the biggest market crash in world history. Why am I preparing for a crash landing? A, because if I'm right, a crash and possible depression will make myself and those that are prepared very, very rich. I believe that that's what all this crypto stuff's been about, folks. I believe it's been a preparation for what everybody knows is coming. He says most people are too lazy to prepare and are hoping the three stooges running America will save them. Who are the three stooges? VP of the U.S. Kamala Harris. 2, Secretary of State Janet Yellen. She played Uncle Festus in the Munsters. Fester, I think. 3, Central Bank Chairman Jerome Powell. He played shoe salesman Al Bundy in the TV show Married with Children. I will be at Ken McElroy's collective, He says, talking about preparing for crash landing, quite possibly a coming Great Depression or coming depression. Some of you may know I went down 3 times in my helicopter gunship in Vietnam, and my success depended upon my crew and me was being prepared. Proper preparation was the only reason my crew and I returned home alive without injuries. Take care, exciting times ahead. Crashing can be a good thing if you're prepared. There's always somebody making money in the middle of these crashes and stuff. He's 1,000% right about that. Check this out. As I read this, you need to be thinking XRP Futures, XRP ETFs are coming. This is from Bitnomial to launch an XRP USD Futures, XUS. They notified the Commodity Futures Trading Commission on this initial listing. Intend to trade after August 13th. Today's August 14th, so could be trading now. And here's the actual letter. Now, what's the significance of that, folks? In order to have ETFs, you have to have futures. So that's big time. And then look at Cowboy Crypto. Some things come full circle. Jay Clayton's Electric Capital happens to be an investor in Bitnomial, who is launching an XRP futures contract. Jay Clayton, did I say this? Cowboy Crypto is the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel. Jay Clayton sued Ripple on his last day as acting SEC chairman and now advises Electric Capital's founders through the regulatory landscape. What a guy. Now this is coming, crypto law. They're going to do a special live cast. It'll be a conversation between J.W. Verrett, who he was one of the advisors at the SEC, but he did not agree with Gary Gensler on much, and Stuart Alderati. They're going to do this on the 15th, and they're going to do it at, that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. 11 a.m. Eastern time. That's what we know. Eastern time is what I need. Okay, check this out from John Deaton. Elizabeth Warren, this is an alert. Elizabeth Warren just sent out a message saying the following. It's Elizabeth Warren. We recently found out that a super PAC supporting my Republican opponent, a crypto lawyer from Rhode Island recruited to run against me, raked in $2 million from 3 massive donations from 2 crypto billionaires and one big crypto firm. It's absolutely critical we respond to this super PAC's fundraising with a strong surge of support. Dear Senator Warren, I know how you disfavor the truth, but the only time I've been recruited to do anything in Massachusetts was to serve my own country in the U.S. Marine Corps. I'll see you soon, Senator. Please help me keep the pressure on Elizabeth Warren. She's worried for a reason and desperately trying to outraise me. You can help prevent that from happening by donating even a small amount at johndeatonforsenate.com. And then John, he didn't do this commercial, but one of those, I guess some type of PAC or something, did a commercial on him.
John Deaton, first in his family to graduate high school. I'll read. Deaton's running for U.S. Senate against Elizabeth Warren to stand up to the extreme politics she represents and to get things done for us. Deaton will cut taxes, oppose the reckless spending causing inflation, and end the migrant crisis. Outsider, a new voice, responsible leadership for Massachusetts. John Deaton for U.S. Senate. Commonwealth Unity Fund is responsible for the content of this message.
Commonwealth Unity Fund, okay? Check this out from XRP Drops. Ripple is opening a new office there I guess they have opened a new office in Geneva, Switzerland. This week, we've been celebrating the opening of Ripple's new Switzerland office in Geneva's financial district. I've spent the last few days catching up with the Swiss team and can attest that the new office is a perfect place for our employees to work and meet with their clients and prospects. I've also been hearing more about what makes Switzerland such a vital market for companies focused on blockchain and digital assets. With a regulatory environment that embraces innovation, Switzerland is a leading center for our industry and for Ripple's digital assets custody business in particular. Custody is a fundamental element of the infrastructure required for enterprise crypto services, so it's no surprise that Ripple's custody business continues to gain significant traction both in Switzerland and beyond. Okay, I wanted you to hear this. So, because of Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman and Gary Gensler, this is where our industry is now. I have very specific questions. So Ripple's just been through a 4-year lawsuit. We've got all these, there's specific restrictions per the lawsuit on XRP, the sale of XRP by the founders in Ripple, with regard to institutional sales and retail sales. So still out here in crypto, I have, if you want to invest in Ethereum or Solana, you should have specific questions. These people's jobs, CFTC and the SEC, their job is to protect you, to protect we investors. And so my question is, I need some protecting out here. As an investor concerned about investing in Ethereum, what are the restrictions? Because XRP in and of itself is not a security. Ethereum in and of itself is not a security. Solana in and of itself is not a security. But depending on the transaction, all of those can be considered securities transactions. It's the transaction. Like Gary says, it's the facts and circumstances. So we need to know what the facts and circumstances of the sale of Ethereum by Joseph Lubin or Consensus or Vitalik Buterin or the Ethereum Foundation. Which ones of those are securities transactions? Was it a securities transaction when, according to Vitalik Buterin, they sold a bunch of Ethereum to Mike Novogratz, and he said that it was the Ethereum Foundation. How about when Vitalik Buterin ordered the Ethereum Foundation to sell, seems like it was 500,000 Ethereum to make their runway longer? Was that a securities transaction? How about if Joseph Lubin sells some of his, or if his company Consensus sells some? What about the Ethereum Foundation? What about the individual founders? When are those things securities? They're not telling us. We haven't been told by the CFTC. They try to act like you can just blanket, oh, Ethereum's a commodity. No, it's a lot more specific than that. It doesn't work that way. But they're all trying to avoid this topic. Like, we can't talk about it. We just need to talk about how you can buy a Solana ETF or an Ethereum ETF. Just go ahead and pass them on through. But they don't want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is common sense. You can't just say, oh, we'll go after this company and find out all the specific restrictions on the sale of that. But we're not going to do that with Ethereum or with Solana. We're just going to say those in general are a commodity. No, that's not how it works. And I'm not an attorney, but I've paid attention enough in the uncovering of ETHgate. This is nothing but corruption going on. And now you got Joseph Lubin. He wasn't telling the truth. And remember, before ETHgate was uncovered, Joseph Lubin was content. He and all his VC friends, they were all content because they thought they had a Bitcoin Ethereum monopoly. ETHgate turned up the pressure on this whole topic and forced the regulators to start trying to figure out what do we do. And they're still trying to figure out what we do because they know they're linked directly to the corruption.
We've seen there, specifically with respect to the SEC.
Remember, this a-hole right here was saying that the SEC are good friends at the SEC, is what he was saying in 2018-19. Wait till you hear what he says at the end of this.
Okay, we don't this first in the previous regime under Jay Clayton. Okay, we don't understand this, but we think that every token is a security, and we're going to study it, and we're going to make sure that these obviously fraudulent or corrupt projects are shut down. And we, our company Consensus, had conversations with the SEC way back then, and we did help them understand that not every token was a security. And so that proceeded okay. Chair Gensler came in after having had a tremendously respected career as an MIT professor for one semester teaching blockchain.
So he's making fun of Gary Gensler.
So somebody got him that job, and you have to ask why somebody got him that job. Yeah, some senator from Massachusetts potentially.
There's a shot at Elizabeth Warren.
So he established himself as an expert in our domain. He's a very smart individual, and he's a very politically savvy individual. Savvy for his own purposes and savvy for other purposes. And he came in, and actually when he was a professor, he said 75% of these tokens are not securities, Ether, etc., long list of tokens, not a security. He came into the job saying, and he wrote Congress a letter saying, I don't...
Okay, I wanted to play the last part of it for you. That's what I wanted you to hear. All of a sudden, the SEC's not his friend anymore.
It looks like we're going to be able to rely on the judicial branch, and maybe the legislative branch will do something interesting. Maybe even the executive branch, somebody will come in, shocking as that may be, and do something really useful and unselfish for the world, or do something selfish that will be actually useful for the world. And so the SEC is not our friend.
So basically what he was saying in this thing was, yeah, they begrudgingly passed this Ethereum ETF, but we're still having to battle out all these nuances of whether, where Ethereum is a security and all of that. That's what people don't understand. This thing isn't over by a long shot. Now, I think that I'm going to show one of the most interesting clips in DAIXRP.com that I've seen in a while. For years, most of us with a half a brain have realized you can call it a bunch of things, but our country has been obviously taken over by whatever you want to call it, a deep state, or a bunch of criminals, or a bunch of our agencies have obviously been taken over by a bunch of criminals. But all the way from JFK until now, it's like this country has been being rotted from the inside, and we've got people that are literal criminals running everything. But it's hard to fight. It's hard to fight against a system like that when you don't know the names, like where names have not been named. You don't know exactly who it is that is running this country into the ground and who needs to be defeated. Well, there's a guy who does name names and gets very specific and it's a handful of names. He gets very specific on who they are and exactly who, when Trump gets in, needs to be gone in order for all this stuff to be gone, including Operation Choke Point 2.0. These are the people that have to be gone, and they know that Trump knows who they are. And this is the key. So I'm gonna show you who those people are in this thing. And once you know who they are, you know exactly who the enemy is, and that's pretty important. Identify who the enemy is. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. These are the shadow government. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. You want to know who's been running this country? It's not Biden. I don't think he's been running it since the beginning. But who has been running it? Because these are the evil people that have to be defeated. Here we go.